In this video, we're going to interpret data from a table. So first, let's notice whenever you're given a table, you should see what the columns and rows are representing. So notice here we have country, birth rate per 1,000 people per year, and population. And here are the list of countries and their corresponding birth rates and populations. So let's read the first question. Which country has a birth rate of 17.79 per 1,000 people per year? Okay. So looking at the top, we're going to go to the birth rate column, and we're going to scroll down with our eyes for 17.79. And I see that value right here, and I'm just going to double check that none of the other ones also equal that value. Okay, so there's our value, and we were asked for the country, and that corresponds to Brazil. So our answer for this question is Brazil. Let's look at the next one. Here we're asked which country has the smallest birth rate. So we're going to go back to the birth rate column, and we're going to scroll through and look for the lowest number. Okay, so starting from the top, I see this is a small number thus far, and then I notice 11.05 is even smaller, and that's smaller than all of them. So it's not 12.33. Here we have 11.05. So that's the smallest birth rate. Now let's see what we were asked again. We weren't asked what the smallest birth rate was. We were asked to identify the country. So that corresponds to Russia. So the second answer is Russia. Next, we're asked which country has the largest population. Okay. So looking up here, population is this column right here. I'm going to scroll down and look for the biggest number. And this one's easy to see because this one has a billions place where all of the other ones are in millions. And since we're asked for the country that corresponds to 1 billion, over 1 billion people, is going to be India. And let's look at the last question. Based on the birth rate and population of French Polynesia, approximately how many births were there in 2011? Okay, so let's go to French Polynesia, metaphorically, right here. And we have that the birth rate is 15.53. Okay, and remember that corresponds to per 1,000 people. And we have the population is 294,935 people. Okay, so we're not asked for any of these specific values. We're going to have to use this birth rate, which is a percent of the population, to find approximately how many births there were in 2011. So now let's think about this. If we have 294,935 people, how many thousands of people are there? So if we divide this by 1,000, I'm going to use the calculator. Oops, forgot a zero. Okay, and maybe you can do this in your head, but we'll just use the calculator since it's there. 935, and we divide by 1,000. So there are 294.935 thousand people, okay, in French Polynesia. So let's write this, 294.935 thousand people. Okay. And then here we're told that for every 1,000 people, so for every one of these, and we're going to keep the decimal and we'll round at the end, there are 15.53 births. So let's do this in another color. So we have 15.53 births. I'm going to put down here per 1,000 people, okay, times 294.935, we'll put here 1,000 people. And notice that the thousands cancel out, okay? So we'll just cross those out. So I'm just checking my units here, and there are other ways to do this that may be more intuitive to you. You could have multiplied this number by this number and then divided by 1,000. I just wanted to show you how the units cancel out here. So now we have this value. We're going to multiply by 15.53. And we're given this value. So we'll round to the nearest whole number. I don't know if that was in the directions, and that would be 4,580. And let's write that as a sentence. There were approximately, okay, again, we don't know the exact amount of births. This was an approximation. 4,580 births in 2011. Okay, and that's what this expression gave us. Let's write that down here too. So this equaled 4,580.